Picture this. A 26-year-old Stanford dropout walks into a packed conference room in Silicon Valley. No Ivy League pedigree. No Fortune 500 resume. Just 27 minutes later, 14 top-tier VCs, people who funded billion-dollar exits, are scrambling to wire $10 million. No spreadsheets, no product demos, just words. How? Because he didn't pitch a business, he rewired their brains. Welcome to Profit Architects, where we don't chase profits, we engineer them. And today, we're pulling back the curtain on the ultimate psychological toolkit, 7 emotional pressure points that billionaires exploit to manipulate decisions, crush competition, and turn no into how much. These aren't theories. They're battlefield-tested tactics used by Apple to make you panic over a 2-year-old iPhone. By Elon Musk to sell $100,000 cars to middle managers driving Teslas they can't afford. Here's the twist. We're not listing these randomly. We are ranking them, from the sneaky quiet triggers that nudge your choices to the nuclear-level emotions that hijack logic entirely. By the end of this video, you'll see why Apple's fear of missing out isn't just marketing, it's psychological warfare. Why Tesla owners don't just own cars, they join a cult of superiority. And why that Silicon Valley founder didn't sell a product. He sold identity, urgency, and existential FOMO so sharp it made investors feel like losers if they said no. This isn't about sales funnels or clickbait headlines. This is the anatomy of influence. Stick around for the 15 real-world case studies. We're dissecting how Airbnb weaponized belonging, how a $3 online course made $1 million in 48 hours, and why a 75-year-old Vietnamese banh mi vendor became a viral sensation. No, really. Profit isn't found, it's engineered. Let's build. Let's talk about the illusion of control, the quietest weapon in the billionaire playbook. You think you're calling the shots? Nah, you're being nudged. But here's the kicker. Humans crave this illusion like oxygen, especially Americans. With a land of rugged individualism, cowboy CEOs, and I'll do it my way TikTok influencers. The second someone feels forced, they shut down. But give them options, even fake ones, and they'll march straight into your funnel. Take Amazon Prime. You've heard their pitch, cancel anytime. Sounds harmless, right? Wrong. That tiny phrase weaponizes your desire for autonomy. You're not signing up for free shipping. You're proving you're not a sucker for long-term commitments. Same with Netflix's recommendations. You think you're browsing? No. Their algorithms already mapped your psyche. Watch one true crime doc, and suddenly your homepage screams, more like Murder 101. You click play, feeling like the boss, while Netflix pockets your data and ad revenue. This isn't manipulation, it's architecture. Profit architects know that if you want someone to act, you pretend to let them walk away. Ever get an email like, still interested in our deal? Instead of click here to buy. That's the same tactic. A question disarms resistance. It makes the reader feel like the driver. Even though both answers, yes, I'm interested, or no, stop emailing me, keep you in the conversation. Apply this to your business. When you present choices, frame them as either slash or scenarios where both paths lead to your goal. Example, you can skip this offer or read on to see how X client made $50,000 in 30 days. The first option gives the illusion of control. The second hooks them deeper. Here's the blueprint. Fake rebellion. Let customers opt out to make them feel rebellious. They won't. Controlled chaos. Offer 2 to 3 curated options, never infinite. Which version speaks to you? A or B? Power shift. Use language like your call. But here's what most miss to flip their autonomy into FOMO. Remember, profit architects don't sell. They engineer decisions. Because profit isn't found, it's engineered. Let's talk about the loneliness economy, the $3 trillion force shaping every purchase, swipe, and click in America. You think people buy products? Nah, they buy tribes. Belonging isn't a fluff concept, it's biological. Your brain fires dopamine when you feel included, cortisol when you're excluded. That's why 68% of U.S. consumers, Pew Research, spend more to join a we. And here's the kicker. In a hyper-individualistic culture like America, where 1 in 4 adults say they're always lonely CDC, belonging isn't just a want, it's a weaponized need. Take Nike. They don't sell sneakers. They sell initiation into the cult of just do it. Follow hashtag #RunClub on Instagram. Suddenly, you're not some dude in Chicago sweating through a 5K. You're part of a global army of warriors who post sunrise runs and recovery smoothie pics. Peloton does it better. Buy their bike. And you're not just cycling. You're competing on leaderboards with strangers who DM you great ride, fam. That's not marketing. It's tribal warfare. Starbucks? They mastered the third space strategy. Americans aren't buying overpriced lattes. They're renting a spot in the cool kids' cafeteria. College students camp out for finals. Remote workers claim outlets for focus sessions. That's $25 billion in annual revenue, 2023, from people paying to feel like they belong to something called the Starbucks crowd. Even their loyalty program weaponizes this. Earn stars, unlock gold member status, and suddenly you're part of an elite group that gets exclusive birthday drinks. Here's how you weaponize this. Create a secret handshake. Launch a private Facebook group for customers. Not just any group, call it the Inner Circle or Founders Table. Require approval. Scarcity plus exclusivity equals FOMO fuel. Build a mascot identity. Airbnb's Belong Anywhere campaign didn't just grow bookings 22% YOY. They turned renters into travel pioneers. Give your customers a title that makes them feel like insiders. VIP client? Boring. Alpha tester? Elite insider? Now they're part of a movement. Offline rituals. Look at Stanley Cups. People camp outside Walmart at 3 a.m. for limited editions. Not because they need a tumbler, but because owning the desert camo model means you're part of the Stanley Stans tribe. Host pop-up events where your customers high-five strangers who own your product. Let's talk about ego, the silent checkbook Americans can't stop opening. You think people buy products? Nah, they buy resumes, status updates, bragging rights. In a country where 72% of consumers, forced to research, will pay 10 to 20% more just to feel elite, recognition isn't a want, it's a hunger. And here's the blueprint. Americans don't want to own things. They want to be seen owning things. Take Coca-Cola's Share a Coke campaign. Slap a name on a can? Basic, right? Wrong. That tiny tweak weaponized FOMO and vanity. Suddenly, your lunch break wasn't just hydration. It was a photo op. Hey world, this bottle has my name. Result? An 11% sales spike in the US. Coke didn't sell soda. They sold a personalized trophy. People posted those cans on Instagram like they just won a Grammy. Tesla? They're not in the car business. They're in the identity business. Ever scroll past a Tesla owner's post? Drove to work in a car that's basically a spaceship. Gas stations? Never heard of them. These aren't drivers. They're walking billboards for their own values. By owning a Tesla, they're shouting, I'm futuristic. I'm woke. I'm winning. Elon Musk isn't selling horsepower. He's selling a VIP pass to the I Change the World Club. Here's how you exploit this. Sell the mirror, not the tool. Position your product as a reflection of who they want to be. A $2,000 watch isn't about timekeeping. It's a I've arrived flex. A $500 fitness program isn't workouts. It's I'm disciplined armor. Create tiered identities. Gold member. Inner circle. Founders Club. Humans crave hierarchies. Give them titles that scream exclusivity. Peloton's leaderboard doesn't just track watts. It turns cyclists into warriors battling strangers in Arizona. Engineer shareability. Make your product social currency. Glossier didn't sell makeup. They sold, I'm part of the cool girl clique vibes. Post your product on TikTok. You're not just using it. You're advertising your taste. Let's talk about the ticking clock, the silent panic button in every American's brain. You think people buy because they want something? Nah, they buy because they're terrified of losing it. In a country where 57% of consumers, Shopify data, click purchase just to stop the FOMO scream in their heads. Urgency isn't marketing, it's a survival reflex. Americans don't just live fast, we panic fast. And here's the blueprint. Scarcity plus time pressure equals emotional override. Take booking. Com's classic move. Only one room left at this price. Sounds urgent, right? Turns out, it's not even about the room. It's about the primal fear of missing out on a deal. That one line alone spikes conversions by 30%. Same with Walmart's Black Friday drops. 24-hour flash sale, prices reset at midnight. You're not buying a TV. You're buying the relief of not waking up tomorrow as the sucker who paid $50 extra. But the real masters weaponize artificial scarcity. Look at Supreme's drop model. Sell the same hoodie every 6 weeks, slap limited edition on it, and watch grown adults camp outside stores at 5 a.m. Why? Because humans don't fear missing out on products. We fear missing out on the status of owning what others can't get. Here's how you hack this. Fake the clock. Use countdown timers even if there's no deadline. The brain doesn't care if the scarcity's real. It panics anyway. Ghost inventory. Only 3 left in stock. Even if you've got 300. Amazon does it. So does every e-commerce billionaire. Time bandit pricing. Raise prices after a deadline, e.g., early bird rate expires in 6 hours. Shopify's data shows this tactic lifts conversions 22% YOY. But here's the nuclear option. Bundle urgency with identity. Apple's pre-order now, ships in 2 weeks isn't about logistics. It's about turning customers into walking billboards for their own impatience. When someone says, "I've been waiting for this since Tuesday," they're not just hyped. They're recruiting allies for your brand. Let's talk about the silent killer of dreams. The thing that turns, "I should start that side hustle" into "I'll do it tomorrow." Yeah, we're talking about the fear of judgment. The invisible cage that locks 74% of U.S. entrepreneurs, Forbes, into paralysis. In a world where a single LinkedIn post can get you canceled. Where your Instagram story might get screenshotted and roasted in a group chat. Who wants to risk looking stupid? Americans don't fear failure. They fear being laughed at while failing. Here's the blueprint. Fear of judgment isn't just about haters. It's about the story you tell yourself. What if my product flops? What if my audience calls me out? What if I'm just not good enough? That internal monologue, it's louder than any critic. And here's the kicker. The more you care about being liked, the more this fear hijacks your decisions. Take Facebook ads. The best performing campaigns weaponize this fear ruthlessly. Don't let competitors steal your customers. Why are they winning while you're hesitating? It's not about your product. It's about the shame of being left behind. Same with Gary Vaynerchuk's nuclear level advice. Haters gonna hate, but winners gonna win. He's not dismissing critics. He's reframing the fear. You're already being judged. So why not do it while winning? Here's how you hack this. Create judgment-proof zones. Launch a private Facebook group for customers. Not just any group. Call it the Inner Circle or Alpha Founders. Require approval. Scarcity plus anonymity equals FOMO fuel. Inside, members can ask stupid questions without fear. Example. A $2,000 course for Shopify dropshippers grew 300% after adding a no judgment forum where newbies could post failures and get feedback. Engineer social proof with anonymity. Let customers leave reviews without their names. 98% of our members started scared, but now they're earning 3x their old jobs. The fear of being exposed as a newbie? Neutralized. Flip the script on criticism. Use testimonials from people who used to be you. I was terrified of public speaking until I realized the only thing worse than bombing was staying silent. But here's the real masterstroke. Make judgment the enemy of progress. When someone says, "I'm scared people will think I'm greedy for charging this much," reply, "You're not greedy. You're testing who deserves this." Reframe fear as a gatekeeper, not a stop sign. Profit architects don't sell products. We engineer courage. Because profit isn't found, it's engineered. Let's talk about the motherlode of emotional triggers. The one that makes people claw at a sinking ship rather than jump to safety. We're talking about loss aversion, the psychological crack cocaine that turns rational humans into panic-driven buyers. Daniel Kahneman, the Nobel-winning psychologist, didn't just study this, he proved it. Losing $100 hurts too. 5x more than gaining $100 feels good. That's not just data, that's a license to print money. And here's the blueprint. Americans don't fear missing out. They fear losing what they almost have. Take Apple. They don't sell tech upgrades. They sell identity decay. When the iPhone 15 drops, Apple doesn't say, "This camera is 30% better." No, they whisper, "If you keep using your iPhone 13, you're falling behind." Suddenly, your phone isn't outdated. It's a badge of stagnation. That's why 68% of iPhone users, Statista, upgrade within 18 months. They're not chasing specs. They're fleeing the terror of looking obsolete at a dinner party. Warren Buffett, he weaponizes loss aversion like a sniper. His infamous line, "If you don't learn to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die." Sounds bleak, right? But it's genius. He's not selling investing. He's selling escape from a nightmare. You at 70, still grinding spreadsheets while peers sail in retirement. People don't buy his strategies because they want wealth. They buy to avoid the gut punch of ending up broke while others thrive. Here's how you hack this. Paint the collapse. Don't just sell the upside. Sell the disaster of inaction. Skip this course? You'll still be Googling how to negotiate in 2 years. Or worse, watch your competition pass you by. Anchor to identity. Make the loss personal. Leaders read this book. If you're not reading it, ask yourself why. Time to panic. Use milestones as triggers. 90% of parents who don't start college funds by age 35 fail to save enough. Where will you be in 5 years? But the nuclear option? Social loss. Airbnb nails this. When a host gets a last-minute booking alert, someone just viewed this listing. They'll book soon. Suddenly, you're not just losing money, you're losing status to a stranger. Result? 22% faster bookings. Airbnb internal data. Here's a real-world play. A real estate agent in Austin used loss aversion to sell a $2.1 million mansion in 48 hours. How? She sent a mailer to the neighborhood. This home could drop $300,000 if it sits past summer. Your equity at risk. Boom. The owner panicked. Buyers jumped. She pocketed a $120,000 commission, all by threatening their wallets with a paper cut. Let's talk about the deepest, darkest hole in the human psyche, the one no one wants to admit exists. What if my life doesn't matter? That's existential pain, the nuclear level emotion that drives wars, suicides, billion-dollar startups, and midnight panic attacks in suburban cul-de-sacs. Americans aren't immune. In fact, 63% of you. Adults, Gallup, say their job or purchases must mean something. They're not buying products. They're buying proof they're not wasting their one wild, short life. And here's the blueprint. If you want loyalty, profit, or cult-like devotion, don't sell features. Sell a reason to keep waking up. Take Dove's Real Beauty campaign. They didn't just sell soap, they sold salvation. By tapping into women's fear of being not enough, Dove turned skincare into a movement. You're not just buying moisturizer, you're rebelling against impossible standards. Result? A 600% sales spike in its first decade. Why? Because humans don't buy products. They buy stories where they're the hero. Apple? They're not in the tech business. They're in the legacy business. Steve Jobs nailed it. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Every iPhone ad isn't about specs. It's about joining a tribe that's different. When you buy Apple, you're not just upgrading your phone. You're pledging allegiance to a future where your existence mattered. Here's how you hack this. Sell the story, not the product. Tom's Shoes didn't get famous selling canvas sneakers. They sold one for one, a pair of shoes for a kid in need. Suddenly, buyers weren't just fashionable, they were saints. Sales hit $300 million by 2014. Make customers the hero. Patagonia's Don't Buy This Jacket campaign didn't tank sales, it boosted them. Why? They aligned with a deeper truth. You're not just a shopper. You're a rebel fighting waste. People bought it because it made them feel purposeful. Tie purchases to legacy. Every order funds 10 meals for homeless veterans. Your purchase plants a tree in the Amazon. It's not charity, it's ego. Humans want to feel their choices ripple beyond their lifespan. But the real masterstroke? Weaponize your own mission. Gary Vaynerchuk's VFriends NFTs didn't sell digital art. They sold access to a community where hustle bros could feel like pioneers. You're not buying pixels. You're investing in Web3's future. And your kids will thank you. Sold out in 48 hours. Here's a brutal truth. People will pay 3x for a product if it makes them feel like they're part of something bigger. A $50 candle? Meh. A $150 candle that funds wildfire relief? Suddenly, it's a moral obligation. Profit architects don't sell stuff. We sell exit tickets from Existential Dread. Because profit isn't found, it's engineered. Let's talk about the battlefield where emotional pressure points turn theory into cash. You think these triggers are just for ads and sales pages? Nah, they're the skeleton keys to unlocking human behavior, whether you're selling NFTs, coaching programs, or $12 lattes. Let's dissect 15 real-world plays where companies and hustlers weaponize these triggers to crush competition, convert strangers into loyalists, and engineer profit from thin air. Case Study 1. Airbnb and the Tribe of Locals. Airbnb didn't just disrupt hotels, they weaponized belonging. When they launched, the hotel industry was selling rooms. Airbnb sold live like a local. That phrase? It wasn't just marketing, it was a Trojan horse for the desire to belong. Suddenly, travelers weren't tourists, they were insiders. A 2023 report showed 70% of millennials prefer experiences over possessions. Airbnb gave them a tribe, the travel pioneer who doesn't need a concierge. But here's the nuclear play. They pair belonging with fear of loss. Ever seen "there only one room left at this price" alerts? That's not about scarcity, it's about panic. If you don't book now, you'll miss the chance to belong to the cool crowd living like Parisians or Tokyoites. Result? A 22% YOY booking spike. Airbnb didn't sell beds, they sold escape from tourist hell. Case Study 2. Elon Musk and the Cult of Purpose. Tesla isn't in the car business, it's in the identity business. Elon Musk sells recognition and existential meaning so hard it makes your head spin. When someone buys a Tesla, they're not just driving, they're joining the "I'm saving the planet" cult. Tesla owners post unboxing videos like they've just joined the Illuminati. How'd Musk weaponize this? By framing EVs as a movement, not a product. His infamous tweet, "We're accelerating sustainable energy. If you're not with us, you're part of the problem." That's existential dread wrapped in a mission. And the scarcity play? The Cybertruck waitlist hit 2 million pre-orders. Not because people need a truck, but because they fear missing the future train. Profit architects don't sell cars. They sell VIP passes to a revolution. Case Study 3. Shopee's US. Launch and the panic button. When Shopee entered the US market, Amazon and Walmart owned e-commerce. So Shopee did what any sane predator would. They weaponized urgency and scarcity until customers panicked. Their homepage? A war zone of countdown timers. Only 3 left in stock. Banners and flash sales that reset every 24 hours. Here's the blueprint. Humans hate uncertainty. Shopee removed it. Buy now or lose out forever. Shopify's data shows urgency tactics lift conversions 22% YOY. Shopee didn't just copy Amazon, they outpanicked them. During Black Friday 2022, their deal drops campaign spiked sales 38% in 48 hours. People didn't buy because they needed stuff, they bought to stop the FOMO scream in their heads. Case Study 4. The single mom coach who crushed fear of judgment. Meet Sarah, a former teacher turned $200,000 per year coach for single moms. Her problem? Her target audience was paralyzed by fear of judgment. They'd post comments like, "I can't start a side hustle. I'll look desperate." Her fix? A private Facebook group called Unapologetic Moms. Inside, no judgment, just raw stories of failure, wins, and how to pitch clients without sounding needy. She weaponized belonging to neutralize fear. Result? 800 members in 3 months, 200 sales in 60 days. One client, a nurse-turned-consultant, paid $5,000 for the program and made $90,000 in 90 days. Why? Because the group became her safe zone to stop fearing the haters. Case Study 5. The fintech app that sold control and made $1 million in 30 days. A fintech startup called Money Magnet wanted to beat Mint in an app. Their play? Attack fear of loss and need for control simultaneously. Their hook? You're losing $347 per month to bad habits. We'll help you reclaim it. The app gamified budgeting. Every saved dollar unlocked smart points and badges like Savings Ninja. Users compared scores in Slack communities. But here's the nuclear option. They added a 7-day free trial with a cliffhanger. On day 7, the app locked features unless users upgraded. Result? 200,000 downloads in 30 days. $1.2 million in subscriptions. Why? They framed budgeting as a battle for control against yourself. And humans hate losing that battle. Case Study 6. Glossier and the Cult of Recognition. Glossier didn't sell makeup. They sold, you're part of the cool girl clique. Their Instagram? Not ads. UGC, user-generated content. From customers who felt like influencers just for owning a $15 lip gloss. They weaponized desire for recognition by making every buyer a brand ambassador. Post a Glossier pic? Suddenly, you're not just wearing makeup, you're signaling taste. Their loyalty program? Tiered status, VIP, Inner Circle, Founders Club, all designed to make buyers feel elite. Result? A $1.8 billion valuation in 2022. Profit architects don't sell products. They sell identity upgrades. Case Study 7. Peloton and the Guilt Engine. Peloton bikes aren't $2,000 fitness tools. They're $2,000 guilt machines. Their ads don't say, work out better. They whisper, if you don't own this bike, you're the weakest link. They weaponized fear of judgment and existential meaning. Their leaderboard? Not just a ranking, it's a public shaming tool. Skip a ride? Your name drops. Friend's name climbs. Result? 1.5 million subscribers by 2023. Peloton didn't sell fitness. They sold the terror of being left behind. Case Study 8. Patagonia and a legacy play. Patagonia's Don't Buy This Jacket campaign was genius. They told customers, buy less, unless it's us. Why? They weaponized existential meaning. Your purchases matter. Buy Patagonia, and you're not just wearing fleece, you're fighting waste. Their tactic? Pair purpose with scarcity. Limited edition drops sell out in minutes. Why? Buyers don't want the jacket. They want the bragging rights of being woke. Result? A 40% sales increase post-campaign. Profit architects don't sell stuff. They sell moral superiority. Case Study 9. Gary Vaynerchuk and the Judgment-Free Zone. Gary V's $1,000 coaching program didn't promise riches. It promised freedom from fear. His hook? Stop worrying about haters. Build your thing. He weaponized need for control and fear of judgment. Inside his group, no shame. Just raw, unfiltered hustle. Members posted failures, got feedback, and realized the world won't end if I fail. Result? A 300% membership growth in 6 months. Gary didn't teach marketing, he taught courage. Case Study 10. The $3 online course that made $1 million in 48 hours. A TikTok marketer sold a side hustle starter kit for $3. How to make $1 million by weaponizing urgency, scarcity, and fear of loss. His ad. This offer disappears in 48 hours. If you miss it, you'll keep wasting time on dead-end jobs. He limited spots to 500,000, even though he had infinite supply. Result? Sold out in 27 hours. People didn't buy the course. They bought the panic of missing the last chance. Case Study 11. The fitness influencer who sold identity. A fitness coach didn't sell workouts. He sold, you're not just working out. You're part of the warrior tribe. He created a private Discord server where members shared wins, got warrior badges, and competed on leaderboards. Weaponized belonging and recognition. Result? 10x his income in 6 months. Profit architects don't sell services. They sell membership to something bigger. Case study 12. The coffee brand that sold a lifestyle. A boutique coffee brand didn't sell beans. They sold "You're not basic. You're a connoisseur." They created a coffee club with monthly shipments, exclusive roasts, and a members-only podcast. Weaponized desire for recognition and belonging. Result? 500% growth in 1 year. People didn't buy coffee. They bought entry to a tribe of discerning palates. Case study 13. The real estate agent who weaponized loss. A Miami agent doubled her sales by reframing listings. Instead of "beautiful 3-bedroom home," she wrote, "skip this listing and you'll watch prices rise $50,000 in 6 months." She weaponized fear of loss with data. Homes in this zip code sell 22% faster than average. Result? 30-day sales cycle. Profit architects don't sell houses. They sell escape from regret. Case study 14. The NFT project that sold legacy. A Bored Ape Yacht Club clone didn't sell pixels. They sold "own a piece of Web3 history." They weaponized existential meaning and scarcity. Only 10,000 apes. Celed endorsements. Result? $100 million in sales. Buyers didn't care about art. They cared about being first. Case study 15. The vegan protein brand that sold purpose. A vegan protein brand didn't sell shakes. They sold "every scoop feeds a hungry kid." They weaponized existential meaning and desire for recognition. Customers posted hashtag "fuel the future" tags, feeling like heroes. Result? 200% YOY growth. Profit architects don't sell products. They sell tickets to a better self. Let's talk about turning emotional pressure points from weapons of manipulation into tools for domination in your own life. You've seen how billion-dollar brands weaponize fear, belonging, and urgency to hijack decisions. Now, let's flip the script. How do you engineer your own psychology to crush procrastination, silence self-doubt, and build a life where you control the narrative? Buckle up. This isn't self-help fluff. It's a blueprint for hacking your brain. Control. Stop chasing events. Master reactions. Americans love taking control until reality smacks them with layoffs. Cancel meetings, or a Starbucks barista who misspells their name for the 10th day straight. But here's the secret. You don't control outcomes. You control how you respond. When someone roasts your LinkedIn post, don't panic. Ask, what's the lesson here? When your startup gets rejected by 14 VCs, like that Silicon Valley founder we opened with, don't spiral. Ask, what's the one tweak that'll make the 15th say yes? Profit architects don't stress over what they can't change. They stress test what they can. Belonging, kill the herd. Build your tribe. 68% of adults, Pew Research, say their happiness depends on feeling part of something. Problem? Most cling to tribes that drain them. Toxic group chats. Energy-sucking coworkers. Instagram followers who ghost you IRL. Here's the fix. Audit your circle. If someone doesn't inspire growth, ghost them. Replace them with people who'd make you proud to share your wins. Join a mastermind where members actually do things instead of just talking about doing things. And if you can't find your tribe, start one. Profit architects don't wait for belonging. They engineer it. Recognition. Stop begging for validation. Start earning it silently. You think Elon Musk checks Twitter comments before launching rockets? Nah, he focuses on the mission. Same with Beyonce. Same with the $2,000 per month coach who built a cult following without ever saying, "Look at me." Here's your hack. Every night, write down 3 things you crushed, even if no one else saw them. Finished a tough workout. I'm disciplined. Sent a cold email. I'm bold. Paid a bill early. I'm responsible. Repeat this daily, and you'll stop craving likes. You'll start craving results. Urgency. Treat every day like a flash sale. Americans waste 2.1 hours daily on someday tasks, rescue time data. Why? No deadline igual a no acción. Fix this. Schedule mini launches. Tell yourself, I'll draft this proposal in 25 minutes. Then I'm shipping it. Use calendar blocks like a trader uses stop-loss orders. And when you hit a wall, add fake urgency. If I don't finish this by 3 p.m., I'll delete my Netflix password for a week. Suddenly, you're not procrastinating. You're racing against a self-imposed panic button. Judgment. Master the art of selective deafness. Gary Vaynerchuk says it best. Haters gonna hate, but winners gonna win. Translation. The people who judge you hardest are the ones too scared to try. Next time you're about to post a bold idea, and that voice whispers, what if they laugh? Ask, do these people even live the life I want? If not, mute them. Profit architects don't argue with the crowd. They ignore the noise and let results scream for them. Loss aversion. Fear wasting time more than money. Warren Buffett didn't get rich by fearing poverty. He feared wasting his 20 productive years. Apply this every time you scroll TikTok instead of working on your side hustle. Visualize what you're losing. That $50,000 per year raise you'll never get. The promotion that went to someone bolder. The relationships you'll miss because you're too busy finding yourself. Fear isn't your enemy. It's your fuel. Existential meaning. Build a legacy that outlives you. 63% of Americans, Gallup, say their job must mean something. Problem? Most define meaning as what my parents approve of. Wrong. Meaning is your definition. Start asking, what would I do if I knew I'd be forgotten in 50 years? If the answer isn't terrifying, you're not aiming high enough. Profit architects don't chase purpose, they engineer it. Write that book. Launch that course. Plant trees whose shade you'll never sit under. You've just unlocked the same playbook billionaires use to hypnotize markets, crush competition, and turn no into how much. These 7 emotional pressure points aren't just sales tactics, they're life hacks. Mastering them doesn't just boost revenue, it rewires how you see every interaction. Negotiations? Easier. Relationships? Deeper. Goals? Unstoppable. Because at the end of the day, understanding humans equals owning the game. If this dropped a knowledge bomb on your head, smash that like button. Drop a comment with the pressure point you're using first, whether it's weaponizing loss aversion in your next ad or engineering belonging in your team. Share this with one person who still thinks profit is found. Then hit that bell. New episodes drop every day where we dissect how the pros turn psychology into paychecks. Profit Architects isn't just a channel. It's your blueprint to engineer dominance. Subscribe now, because profit isn't found, it's engineered.